The biggest concern offensively is up front. We've got 5 guys that we have to replace. I'm not sure we can replace them, but I do feel like we've got capable guys to do the job. I think we've got to be able to stay healthy. Our firepower is going to be pretty good. Ben is going to be exciting to watch for another year. And I think there are a couple other tailbacks in the system with Blair and Pete Panici, Conrad Heisey. Those tailbacks are all going to be able to make a contribution, I think, on a varsity level. We've shored up the fullback position with Alex, and Evan Fink has come in as a transfer who I think is going to be a good player for us. So we've got a couple guys there. The tight end position, Mankiewicz is a senior. We moved a couple people to tight end to help us out. Doug Lester is getting better and better as he grows. He'll be a sophomore. And then you have Nate Myers and Nate Luckenbill, who have been moved from other positions to give us a little depth. Tight end's a big position for us. Last year, Brendan Riley was the leading receiver on our football team at tight end. The wide receiver position, we've made some moves there too to shore it up. I think we've got 5, 6 guys that we can count on that we can win with at wide receiver. I think Timmy Paserno tops the list, Yahya McIntyre, Joey Miller, Kelly Saylor, Kenny Golden. Jake Ziegler's going to move to that position. So we feel like we've got some depth there. Everybody asks about quarterback, and Colt Zarella is the real deal. Had a great spring. Saw him this summer. He's ready to go. Leo Kite has taken big steps to be number 2. And Jake Ziegler will be number 3, but he's going to play both positions, both at wide receiver and at quarterback. And there are a couple good freshman quarterbacks coming in that I feel with time will be able to help us win football games. Well, the thing that we have with Colt at quarterback is very, very similar in style to Caleb Fick. And we did rotate Colt in, but it was really a tough situation for Colt because he only played a series, and he didn't really, in the first half, a series in the second half, so he didn't really get a feel for the game. But his ability to throw on the run, his ability to drop back and throw the football, and I'll tell you the other thing that he's got wheels, and he could take off and make a big play out of a nothing play. And I'm really anxious to see, and plus he's been elected a captain of our football team, and he did a great job in the spring as a leader of our football team. Leo, we would be limited in what we do with Leo in terms of throwing on the run. Leo's more of a drop back kind of guy, play action. But what I love about Leo is his ability. He can whip the football. He can throw it and get us in the right play. He's the kind of guy that'll check out of a play and get us in the right play. Very smart, loves watching film. He'll be solid. And Jake, as a third quarterback, will be exciting. He brings to the table very similar in style to Caleb, but probably even runs with Colt in that regard in terms of speed, is able to run and take off and make big plays. And then, of course, the freshmen will play JV football that first year, I think. I think we've got those 3 guys that we can win with. The thing that we have to do with Ben is similar to what we did a year ago. I think we've got to be careful and limit the reps. In the I formation, there's a tendency to ride a guy. And in the first half last year, we tried to limit Ben's reps. And I think we'll do the same again this year. And what we want to do is find that thunder and lightning type where we get somebody else to complement. And I feel like there are 3 possibilities in Blair Ransom, Conrad Heisey, and Pete Panici. Pete has had a real good summer. I've seen him. Conrad had a good spring. And Blair always gives us that hard charging style of running. So I think there's some dimensions that all 3 of them bring to the table at tailback. At fullback, Kirkner was a converted guard coming out of high school, but he's taken to the position very well. And Evan Fink is going to run number 2. We had a walk-on this past spring, Wayne McNichol, who had a great spring. I think he just needs some experience. And then we have a couple young fullbacks coming in as freshmen that will end up playing JV football. So we've got a little bit of depth there. Yeah, well, when you talk about up front, Zach Nace is going to be a senior, and it's time. You know, you talk about replacing the 5 guys up front, and can we do it? But there are a couple guys that have to step up, and it is their turn, and it is time. Zach Nace is one of them. Then you've got Brendan Kozub, is a solid football player, played a lot as a freshman, so he'll be a starter. Matt Clark has been paying his dues, and it's time as a junior. He's got to step up at guard. Is there going to be a freshman at center? That's a real possibility. Nick DiDonato is coming out of high school, and we feel like we're going to have to throw him into the fire. And Tyler Dean's another freshman that we need to back up. But it's time for Nate Valdez to step up. And Nate's had a great summer in terms of his work ethic. He's reshaped his body, so it puts him in a position to help us in the offensive line. The only other possibilities, Collette's is a kid that has great feet, needed to develop some physical strength over the summer, and if he did that, he could come into play at offensive tackle. And Aaron Cummins at offensive guard would be somebody that we look to as a backup on the varsity level. And Brady Miskowitz is going to have to take a look at, we got to take a look at him at center, or even Matt Clark might have to cross-train at both guard and center. The 3 top players coming back would be Timmy Paserno, Yaya McIntyre, and Joey Miller. Those would be 3 guys that give you instant vertical push. And to me, that's a big part of what we do. We've got to get that vertical push. Then you have another group that Kelly Saylor needs to step up and be a player for us, be more consistent in catching the football. Kenny Golden is a great target, but he's got to get open. He's got to work to get open more consistently so we can get him the ball. And then Jake Ziegler becomes an unknown. What an athlete. And so we feel like he can bring something to the table for us there. And that buys us some depth at the wide receiver position. McCaviage is solid, works hard, physically, good blocker. Doug Lester has had a great winter and summer working out. He gives us some depth at tight end. But we're really excited about the move in the spring with Nate Luckenbill and Nate Myers. With those 4 guys, we feel like now we can go double tight again like we've done in the past to balance people up. And the other thing that we're going to be able to do is, athletically speaking, we got some good targets and guys that can catch the football. The young freshmen that are coming in will be guys that have to develop. But again, by making those moves with Myers and Luckenbill, we've got ourselves 4 solid tight ends for the season.